Alright, so in today's video, what I'm going to do is talk about the costs between hiring locally and hiring overseas, specifically Latin America or Central and Eastern Europe. So let's break down the hiring costs. There's three main sections for this. There's the recruiter, or let's say like job ads if you're doing it yourself, software and onboarding materials for your new hire, and then the salary and benefits, right? How much we're going to be paying them, the benefits that we will be paying. So if we look at a recruiter, right? Recruiters typically take 20 to 25% of an annual salary. Let's use a role, a pretty simple role, an executive assistant. This is from Glassdoor, these stats, but let's say someone in Denver. Yes, a major city in the States, but it's not like New York, Miami, or LA where it's going to be pretty insane with pricing. We'll stick with kind of the central US or the western US. And Denver gives about $76,000 a year for the average EA salary. 20% of that is about $15,000 US dollars as a fee that you'll be paying to the recruiter, right? So already, low five figures in fees. When you look at software and onboarding materials, there's always going to be a similar amount of training time. And then for software, there's going to be more seats. So maybe you're using certain softwares like Zoom, maybe you're using something like Loom, like this video recorder. Maybe it's just a software that's for CRM stuff. Whatever it may be, when you add another person, you're going to have to pay more or possibly upgrade your plan. So when we compare this first cost of the hiring or this recruiter cost to hiring overseas, let's say you work with an agency or a firm like Zabota. We charge a flat fee, and it's well under the $15,000 a fee that a normal recruiter would take. It's significantly lower than that. The software and onboarding materials, training time can be similar, faster if they're more competent than some of this native talent. And in many cases, they are. With the software and the more seats, there's something called purchase power parity. And basically, it's making goods and services very similar in price in regards to the cost of living in that country. So this is from Robinhood, this little graphic. But you can see this basically with Coke bottles, right? Say in Russia, it's 90 rubles. It's about $1.45 for someone to get a Coke. Mexico, 53. European Union, $2. States, $2, right? So what does this mean if you're trying to hire outside of the US? Well, basically, you're going to be able to save a lot more money because a lot of software companies and programs allow you to utilize this purchase power parity. The person's located outside of the US, they're going to pay in their local currency, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than if you're actually hiring someone inside of the States or in the Western world because of the purchase power parity phenomena. So moving on from the onboarding and the software, let's jump into the salary and the benefits. So US salary, again, that same role, that Denver executive assistant, $76,000 US dollars. And then the payroll tax, about 7.65%. If you're in the States, this is basically the Social Security contributions and Medicare, like those insurance contributions as well for the state and federal government. For benefits, these are going to be any of those programs. Maybe it's some insurance stuff. Maybe it is paid time off, any benefits that you offer your employee in this compensation package. So the cost right now is well over 80 grand for this executive assistant. Compare that when you hire from Eastern Europe or Latin America. It's about 24,000 a year for that salary, about 2K US dollars per month. These are independent contractors. So basically they don't have the same types of costs as an employee, right? There's no payroll tax. They are responsible for dealing with the tax structure in their own locale. So wherever they're located, it's up to them to comply with those rules. For you hiring in the States, there's no special types of forms or anything that you need to extra do with these types of taxes. You just need to make sure that you've categorized all these payments going to these foreign contractors in your bookkeeping. But overall, it is not a headache to deal with. As far as benefits, this is where you can kind of pick and choose. I know some individuals like to have different programs that people can exist in and partake in. Others just like to pay a little bit more so the person can handle those on their own. When we're looking at 2K a month US, depending on where we're hiring from in Eastern Europe or Latin America, that's a pretty solid job. The people are happy to work, and they're very happy to work for a Western-based company. So this is about 30% of this cost. When you add in this other extra $6,000, it moves up to like 38 or almost like 40% of the cost. So it's 60% cheaper to hire overseas at this point. It's definitely something to look into if you're looking for those cost savings, but then also skill set raise and just an overall better quality of person to work with. And so when we break down the costs, we're going to see about 60% cheaper, 50, 60% cheaper. Overall, you can save money with the software and the seats. Training time can even be quicker because the person could be more skilled. For actually working with a recruiter, working with someone like us is going to be a lot cheaper than this 20 to 25% of that annual salary that you would be paying. If you have any questions about hiring in the Western world versus hiring in Eastern Europe and Latin America, let me know in the comments below. If you want to speak to our team, book a call on the link in the description, and we'd be happy to chat and answer any questions that you may have.